a lot of people write poetry, a lot of people read it, enjoy it, but you guys have got your poetry into books. And I think that's part of what I'm interested in. Why, and not why, not as why, but how? What did you go through to get it published, and was it worth it for you? Because I know some of you have published more than one. You've each published one book. I know, John, you've published about 1 million books. So we have different perspectives we're coming from. I want to hear from them. So start with Monica.
Well, I'm lazy, and I didn't want to. I'm lazy and I don't like rejection, so I didn't want to go to a publisher. I didn't want to find an agent, so I just self-published, which is hard because you don't get the publicity, but there's a freedom in it too. And I don't. Yes, I do want people to read my stuff, but I like the freedom of not having to answer anybody. And I guess I'm a little bit arrogant maybe too, from the standpoint that I don't want an agent telling me what to do, or I just kind of want to write the way I want to write. So I first put the poetry book out in 2013, and then I put my novel out in 2018.
Well, like I said, I began writing in high school, and my first publication was in a few poems in our high school literary magazine. But for years after that, I pretty much just wrote for myself. I didn't share it until I was in my 30s, and I started discovering the poetry community around the Cleveland area, and that there were many other people like me who loved poetry. I wasn't just the only oddball like I thought I was in my family, for liking it. And from there, I started meeting people who encouraged me to submit poems to various magazines, or they say, well, I think this journal will like your work, or I started submitting poems and started reading at open mics. And then a friend of mine was like, you need to have a book, people would buy your book if you had one. Why don't you just put one together? So my first book I kind of self-published, put it together, just reading, I was give it away to people just to get them to read my work. And eventually that evolved where, I've found other publishers who wanted to read and publish my work. This latest one, which is Rattle and Numb, which is selected and new poems from 1992 to 2019, I didn't even really have to submit. Last year, the National Beat Poetry Foundation named me their Beat Poet Laureate for the state of Ohio, and as a result, I got to go to this reception celebration event in Connecticut. And while there, the publisher, Venetian Spider Press, was there and just said, we would love to publish a book by you. And so I went from, having to publish my own to having to submit, and often be rejected, to, this one just fell into my lap. And I think that's a testament to the importance of persistence, of not getting discouraged, because sometimes, you're going to be rejected, and not because your work isn't good or important, but maybe it's just not a good fit for that journal or that magazine or that publisher. And maybe the poetry needs more work, just doing it over and over and over, you start to learn, is this rejection because I need to work on it a little more, or is it just because it's not a good fit? And just keep plugging away, keep working at it, and the next thing you know, you're someplace where you didn't think you would get with the poetry or with, whatever you're writing.
Yeah, I don't know that I have too much to offer on the publishing home front right now. This is our first book, and we're self-published as well. We're actually on our second self-publisher for the Freedom, same thing.
By the way, this is the earlier
Yes,
printing.
that's the first edition.
And that's what we
It's with
have.
Halo Publishing, and this one is through Book Baby. So we're just kind of learning all about that ourselves. But I do like the freedom in it, for sure.